So, don't say good people don't. You ever do that? Good people don't do it that way. Who the hell are we to know what good people do? I mean, really. People do all sorts of good things that we might call bad, and vice versa. Because good and bad, again, are only choice. Different cultures, different families have different moralities. What's good? So, good people don't say, this is what I do. This is the morality that feels right for me. This is what feels good for me. And if it feels bad for me, I ain't going to do it. But to generalize and say what good people do and good people don't. A man said to me one time, I'm allergic to women's lib. All I could say was, huh? So another thing to don't say is, don't say I'm allergic to something. What you really mean is, I don't like something, right? Because being allergic to something puts you at effect. When you say, I don't like your choice. Keeps coming back to that, doesn't it? Choice or effect? I believe it when I'll see it. We used to be so proud, didn't we, of our skepticism. I'll believe it when I... And then Wayne Dyer came along and wrote, I'll see it when I believe it. And we all instantly said, duh, yeah. We do. We know that our belief creates a reality. When we say, I'll believe it when I see it, that's defiant, negative, and probably firmly puts in place the impossibility that you never will see it, because your belief is that you're not going to. We know that when we believe it, we see it. But the mind can conceive, the mind can achieve, right? What else? Oh, this one. How oftentimes do we say, I'm afraid of something, when we're not afraid yet? Oh, I'm afraid so. I'm afraid not. I heard somebody, I won't say where, who, come into the center, and there were more people here than they expected, and they said, I'm afraid we'll have to sit in the front row. There's nothing fearful in the front row, is there? I mean, just make cool around. But how often do we put that? You know, just the semantics, the language we use when we say, I'm afraid. You know, we're not afraid. We just have an opinion, that's all. Front row is great. I love when people sit in the front row, please. I need somebody to love. Every country says, oh, yes. No, you don't. You don't need anybody's love. That's nice. But the thing is, if you want somebody to love, what you need to do is you need to be love, and then somebody's are going to show up all over the place. You don't need anybody outside yourself to make you happy. You don't need it. You don't need anybody to love. You just need to be loved. Don't save your love for that perfect somebody to come along, because guess what? There is no perfect somebody. Unless either that or we're all perfect, you know, whichever way you want to look at it. You have sometimes a little bit of a problem, and you just need to talk to somebody about it, just, you know, express it. And then the person you tell about it tells you what you need to do to fix it up. It's like, I just needed you to listen to me, not to fix me, right? You don't need from anybody. You just need to be yourself, to be loved. You don't need to fix anybody. You don't need to count on anybody else to make you whole and complete. You just need to be loved yourself. And you have all the somebodies around you you'll ever want. Better the devil we know than the devil we don't know. Anyone ever said that one? And what's that? It's just an excuse for not taking a risk, isn't it? Not taking a chance. No, I'll just stay here. I won't risk anything because I don't know how it's going to happen. Do you want to come to the end of your life and be looking back and saying, oh God, I wish I'd done that, I wish I'd done that? Take risks. Oh, I might get in trouble for that, but I think we should take risks. I think we should pack up and move every once in a while. Take a huge job.
But not to Winnipeg.
So, yeah. Better the devil we know than the devil we don't know. That's just fear. That's just fear. Saying that. Hang on to your... Anybody here hate change? You wouldn't admit it if you did. Change can be a wonderful, wonderful thing. I have another little poem to read to you, and I don't know where it came from. I've heard something similar to it attributed to Virginia Satir. but you'll like it. If I had my life to live over, I'd try to make more mistakes next time. I would relax, I would limber up, I would be crazier than I've been on this trip. I know very few things I'd take seriously anymore. I would take more chances, I would take more trips, I would scale more mountains, I would swim more rivers, and I would watch more sunsets. I would eat more ice cream and fewer beans. I would have more actual troubles and fewer imaginary ones. You see, I was one of those people who lived prophylactically and sensibly and sanely, hour after hour and day after day. Oh, I've had my moments, and if I had to do it all over again, I'd have many more of them. In fact, I try not to have anything else, just moments, one after another, instead of living so many years ahead of my day. I've been one of those people who never went anywhere without a thermometer, a hot water bottle, a gargle, a raincoat, and a parachute. I knew something about it. If I had to do it all over again, I'd travel lighter, much lighter than I had. I would start barefoot earlier in the spring, and I'd stay that way later in the fall. And I would ride more merry-go-rounds and catch more gold rings and greet more people and pick more flowers and dance more often if I had it to do all over again. But you see, I don't. So, being in the moment, And you know, the two things I really liked from that poem, besides the ice cream and beans thing, that's a given. But I like the idea that she talked about making more mistakes and having more actual troubles. Because I don't know about you, it's true for me, and I know I've had this conversation with a lot of people. I've learned my best lessons by making my biggest mistakes. Yes? So you want to have more lessons, you want to have more mistakes and actual troubles, not imagined troubles. That's a waste of time, but it's their actual troubles that create us, who are the things we've overcome. That's what makes us magnificent, right? I've had a friend one time who said, "You want a life without problems? Good. They'll just hang your heart and your brain in warm saline solution. You won't feel a thing." My grandsons, when they were little, I used to play snakes and ladders with them. Remember that game? And one of my grandsons, I used to try and talk positive to them, and it took to a certain extent. One of them said, "I think we should just ignore the snakes and just play ladders." And at first I thought, "Oh, that's cool." But then I thought, what would the game be without the snakes? Right? Because it's only being not the snakes that makes the ladders so great. Right? How far up can you go? And it's the valley that makes the mountain look so high. It's the dark and light that makes the sunshine so bright. It's the winter that makes the spring so wonderful. Right? So, more problems to rise above. And you know, that's another thing that we do. I think it's a mistake. We can be too overprotective of our children because we desperately want them to have a life that's just all happily ever after. We don't want them to suffer. We don't want them to have to go through any difficulties. But how are they going to learn? You know, if our children really had the kind of happy ever after existence we think we want for them, how would they develop character? How would they develop compassion? How would they know what's important? So that's something. So I just want to go back to the balloon and remind you that when we apply pressure to the balloon here, it's going to balloon out there, and when we release the pressure, it comes back to its natural being. And that's what we're doing all the time with our thinking and our shaping the universe. So a couple of quick quotes from Ernest Holmes. "The spirit of the universe cannot change, being all. There is nothing for it to change into. The soul of the universe must obey the will of spirit, and the body of the universe cannot help changing. Effect is that which did not make itself, but must have a power back of it, causing it to be. All manifestation, all body, is effect and is subject to its cause. Involved within the idea which the spirit drops into the creative medium is everything necessary to bring this idea into form." So when we get that idea, that intuitive aha, just the fact that that divine urge called to it, we know that everything that's necessary to make it so is also available in here. Evolution is the process, the way, the time, and the experience that transpires as thought or intelligent, or idea or contemplation. It passes from abstract being into concrete expression. Consequently, evolution is an effect of intelligence and not the cause of it. Evolution is not creating intelligence. Intelligence is projecting evolution. How's that for the basis for a great creationist debate? Our intelligence is in fact projecting evolution. It's creating the world. It has created the world as we know it now. It has the potential and the ability to create a better world, a world that works for everyone. And isn't that why we're here? We are indeed shaping the universe, and I thank you for shaping it consciously and lovingly. Namaste.